Adam Silver has been fixated on tanking the entire season. He's been absolutely obsessed. He has said this is his top priority in front of all the other stuff like load management, flopping, refs, anything else you could think of. And this has been the top priority, which it is a problem, but the solutions have not been very good. He decided to implement a new lottery for 2027, 2028, and 2029 as a trial. But this season, the solutions that were presented were finding teams. The Jazz were fined $500,000 and the Pacers were found $100,000. That's it. No one else got fined. Grizzlies didn't get fined. Wizards didn't get fined. Not the Nets. Anyway, these teams should have gotten fined and were not. But this solution to the lottery is absolutely horrendous. Let me explain it to you if you don't know already. So there will be 16 teams in the lottery when there are normally 14. So over half of the league will be in the NBA draft lottery. There's going to be a relegation zone. So if you finish bottom three, normally that means you get the best odds. Like this season, for example, the Pacers, Wizards, and Nets all get a 14% chance at the number one pick. However, next season, the bottom three teams will have a lower chance at the number one pick. They will get 2 ping pong balls, while teams 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which this season would be the Jazz, Kings, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans, Bucks, and Bulls, they would get 3 ping pong balls rather than 2. It's a 3-2-1 systems. And then the play-in teams, if you get a 9 or 10 seed, regardless if you make the playoffs or not, so for example, the Hornets, Heat, Clippers, and Warriors would each get 2 ping pong balls, which is the same amount the bottom 3 teams get. Does that make any sense to you? And then if you lose the 7-8 game, you get a lottery ball, 1. So technically, the 8 seed is better than the 7 seed. This creates more tanking. This is a problem. It doesn't make sense. If you are in the playoffs, you should not get a chance at the number 1 pick. In theory, you can win the NBA championship and get the number 1 pick. Your own pick without even having to make a single trade. It makes absolutely no sense. For consecutive seasons, you may not have the number 1 pick in consecutive seasons, which is understandable because you can get instantly stacked from something like that happening. But you can't get a top 5 pick for 3 seasons in a row. So if you're just terrible and you don't have anyone else, you don't get another pick, which is perfect timing for the Spurs. After they draft Wembanyama, Castle, and Harper, all top 5, that was allowed. That's how they built their team. How did the Rockets build their team? Jalen Green, which they used to trade for Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard, Amen Thompson. All these players were drafted top 5 on good teams, and it's now not allowed. So this is going to benefit those teams, and now they're changing the rules. This doesn't make sense at all. Oh, and then the NBA can also penalize teams or change their pick. They can reduce your lottery odds and they can just manually change your draft pick. As if they're not already doing that already, they could just say, okay, we think you guys are tanking. Your starter has a weird injury, so we're going to make sure you get the 6th pick instead of the 3rd pick. Like, that's a big difference for a team. Like I said, this goes through 2029, so it's not permanent, thank goodness. I don't know how NBA voters are going to agree to this, but they might. Then the best solution, really what it should be, just get rid of the lottery so we know it's not rigged. Do it like the NFL. There are always going to be bad teams. There are always going to be teams that win less than 25 games. It always happens. Why does it happen, though? Do you think teams just say, you know what, we're going to go 21-61, and we're going to lose all our games, and we're going to rest our starters and do load management, and then we'll have a 15% chance at a top 5 pick? No, teams don't do that. They try to win. Like, it always happens, and for some reason this is bigger, probably because of the draft class, but yeah. Also, another solution they presented, getting rid of the draft. No, you can't do that. A lot of bad teams are small market teams. The Nets are a small market team. The Pacers are a small market team, but this is a gap year. They're not really a bad team. Kings, small market. Jazz, small market. They get good by drafting good players. It's not as easy for them in free agency because they're small market. They get good by drafting good players, and that's how other teams get good. And now it's going to be very much harder because if you're actually bad, you're getting punished. So it sort of incentivizes it doesn't incentivize the bottom 3 teams to win, but also incentivizes the play-in teams to lose. Because like the Warriors, 37-45, could have just said, okay, we're going to let the Pelicans get the 10 seed and we're going to fall out of the play-in so then we can get the best odds. That is not competitiveness. There are going to be so many more teams that try to lose. You get half the league trying to lose because of this. Because so many teams now think they have a chance at a top pick because they do. The solution is not a solution. It's a bad solution to something that wasn't really that big of a problem. And then this just, it's terrible. They got to get rid of it. Makes no sense. What do you think the solution should be? Tell me in the comments. I read and reply to everything you say. And thank you so much for watching this video and analysis of the new NBA draft lottery through 2027. And we'll see how this goes. See you later.